2 months away, and the boys are back for episode 10 of the CouchSide Sports Report, hosted by the CouchSide Network. I'm Dylan. This is Simon.
Is that all the theatrics you're going to do?
No, well, no, I'm not done yet.
You're not? Okay.
I'm not done yet.
Sorry for jumping in.
The real theatrics is now that we're actually back.
Yes.
For a little bit until you go.
Yeah.
Which we're going to talk about, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But before we start anything, just so it's on camera, I actually want to say thank you for while I was away for 2 months traveling the world, you looked after my house.
I did. I thought you were going to say looked after the podcast. I was like, I did nothing. I genuinely,
Well,
I had bold plans to do solo podcasts every Monday, and then the first Monday hit, and I was like, I have not slept. I need to go to bed. And then the next Monday hit, and I was like, I haven't slept. I had other things to worry about, you know, and it's just not the same without you, Dylan. It's just not the same prepping a podcast and recording a podcast.
You're so full of shit.
No, I'm not full of shit. It's genuinely not the same doing it without you.
Well, no.
So it felt like it was a disservice if it was going to be a half-assed Simon talking about half the shit we'd usually talk about. But I did look after this house.
Yes, you did.
More importantly, I looked after your girlfriend's cat.
Yes, that's very true. So
Yeah.
I wanted to thank you for that.
Oh.
Although I've already thanked you for it in real life, I wanted it to be on camera.
Yeah.
That's all the theatrics I've got because I've been away for 2 months. There's a lot that happened in 2 months.
There's been a shit ton.
I stayed up with all of it for 2 months. But pretty much what we're going to be doing is pretty much going back to what's actually recently happened.
Yeah, we're not going to do a full 2 month recap.
No.
It's just a bit excessive. A lot's happened in 2 months.
Yeah.
Like, a lot.
A lot.
I can't even talk about all of it because it's been so much, you know.
Yeah, it has been a lot, but we will get through.
This intro would be an hour long, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But we will get through a lot of different things.
Oh, yeah.
As we usually do. But yeah, man, it's good to be back.
It
good
is
to be
good.
back talking some shit.
It's good to be back here. It's good to be back here. It feels weird coming here and not having to stay the night and look after this place like I did for 2 months. But if you guys have somehow forgotten it, and if you haven't already, we're on Instagram and TikTok, so please follow us there, couchside.network.
Yes, sir.
Dylan posted some great videos when he was in Europe. Unfortunately, couldn't get to anything specific when you were there, but you still got to see the Coliseum, you got to see the old Olympic Stadium, you got to go outside the Emirates, you got to go outside Angel Stadium, where I will... Not going to spoil it completely yet. We'll be possibly able to do the exact same video you did.
True.
But yeah, it's good to have you back. It's good to have you guys back.
Big facts.
And we're not going to recap too much today. This is probably actually going to be a shorter podcast, I think.
Yeah.
And that's not me.
We'll see.
Not me jinxing it. We're going to talk about the Super Rugby, of course. We're going to talk about some other local stuff, a few international things, but the big thing today will be previewing and predicting the FIFA World Cup. And there's a special relation to that World Cup we'll talk about,
and it has creeped up quite quickly.
It is very quickly, incredibly quickly, Dylan. But should we just kick on with Super Rugby? The last round of the regular season was on the following weekend. Playoffs start this week on Friday, and I think we'll just go over the results. Obviously,
go for it.
I didn't watch any of these. I've been slack. I've kind of not tuned off rugby. It's just other things have came up in terms of other sports that I'd rather watch, and then being busier when these sports are on, and just, you know, not being able to prioritize everything like I was at the start of the super season.
Welcome to life, man.
But one result which I was pissed off when I saw it, the Crusaders beating the Hurricanes 47-14.
So was I, don't worry.
The Canes have been unstoppable this season apart from a couple of blips, and then they get beaten by 30 points against the Crusaders, who...
They did rest a lot of
They
players,
did, and I'm not surprised they did. The Crusaders obviously had a relatively slow start to the season, then it crept up. They started getting better and better, and what has pissed me off the most this season, this is just being an Aucklander being pissed off, is that the Crusaders being very successful. The most, and I'm talking as an Auckland fan who's the second most successful Super Rugby team, although it doesn't feel like it.
No.
The Crusaders have all the success. They win how many in a row? They have a shit season in 2024. Yeah. It's like, yes, we finally get a chance to have a shit Crusaders, and they win it the next year, and then they start shit this year, and you're like, yes, the blip is actually reality. Like last year it was a hoax, and then And then they have this idea, let's play a centre at 7. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, it'd be cool. It's not going to work. It never works. It fucking still works.
Yeah, it worked.
Lester Whainaunoku, since you've been gone, has gone from being fairly shaky to start the season for the Crusaders at centre and wing because he was coming back from injury, to being one of the form open side flankers in the competition. Now, don't quote me. I have no idea if he played in this game because I didn't watch it. Which I actually don't think he did. No, but he played about 3 or 4 games in a row and looked better and better every single game. Yeah. Does that mean he's starting at 7 for the All Blacks? No. Does that mean he will play in the loose forwards for the All Blacks? It's very possible. We are probably going to have our first ever utility player, which I'm so happy we have a utility player. I am just pissed off it's a Crusaders player. Okay? It had to be them. They don't deserve enough adversity, you know?
I can be pissed off Aucklander, but I have to respect it.
I respect it, and I'm happy for him. I'm not happy for them.
Yeah, I have to. Speaking of respect, our cat's come through again, so you'll probably see the tail.
Yeah, I like how you said our cat now
because you looked after him.
I did look after him.
Here he is. He's the big man.
Here's big man Loki.
Boom. He is probably very happy about the Crusaders.
Yeah, he can be a bit of an annoying person sometimes. So maybe he is a Crusaders fan. Are you a Crusaders fan, sir?
Oh, I wish you could hear him purr. That would be the best.
It would be great.
But he's all good. But yeah, look, I have to respect it. Like, once again, it's another option there. Yeah. I don't think he's a better. I get what I'm saying, but I don't think he's a better open side flanker than he is a centre.
No, but it's a position.
But he did have very good moments playing in flank. Even while I was away, I knew that.
It's a position he could comfortably play at the super level, which usually means he's probably comfortable playing it at a higher level as well. I think it's just going to be, he'll be 23 on the bench, and if we need him to come on the loosies, he'll come on the loosies.
Exactly, and I think that's a great place for him to be.
Yeah, and it just gives New Zealand another option, it gives him another option. Yep. It really helps us kind of, because everyone's been scared of like not catching up to South Africa and everything they do, and they've been the place for utility players, and this is certainly away there. But yeah, the Crusaders, a very dominant win over the Hurricanes. Speaking of the Hurricanes, a lot of their players have had breakout seasons. Warner Durns, although a lot of us knew how good he was before he came to Super Rugby, who's probably been one of, if not the form lock of the competition. Yep. It's a bit of a shame, I think, for general New Zealand fans who would have expected a guy born and raised until he was a teenager in New Zealand to be an All Black. Yeah. But he's captaining Japan at this point. He's still under contract there long term.
I wouldn't move from that. Do you know what I mean?
I think, and even if Warner Durns was to leave, because he's at Toshiba at the end of his current contract, which I think is in a year or two, he probably doesn't even come back here unless he wants to specifically go to Super Rugby, because the French teams will plop the checkbook on him and he'll go to a Toulouse or a Racing or a Bordeaux.
They should. And they should.
And he should be able to get that money. Does that mean he still plays for Japan? It's up to him. You know, they probably wouldn't be happy if one of their captains, like after playing almost 50 games for them, goes, "Hey, I'm not going to play for you guys anymore."
Yeah,
it's not a good look. And I don't think he's that type of person. But it's been great to have him in Super Rugby. Really good to have him. I think it's been such a good experience for him. We could see him come back. I don't think that means he's going to play for the All Blacks. No. It means he'd have to stand down for 3 years. He's definitely not going to not play for Japan this year or next year with another World Cup on the horizon. But he's been sensational. And then obviously Ruben Love has actually been playing most of the year at 10. He's got genuine credibility to be starting for the All Blacks at 10 now, which is great to see. 10 was a position we've been talking about. Yep. That we need younger players to get the minutes in the Super Rugby teams and to actually stake a claim of being an All Black. And Ruben Love has done that. Callum Harkin, as a result, has had a very good season at fullback. Josh Morby, and I was very high on Josh Morby at the start of the season. I don't know if you remember. A lot of people are saying that he could be an outlier for an All Blacks call-up. And with Caleb Tangito, unfortunately, out for probably the rest of the calendar year with a torn Achilles. Which is just the most insane run of poor luck. Last year, it was that quad, which kept him out for half the Super Rugby, meant that he never got that All Blacks call-up I thought he would get. Now he's not going to play any more rugby for the rest of the year. And actually, I think it'll be, maybe until the middle of next year as well. So who knows? Like torn Achilles, it depends on the player. We see it in the NBA especially, how long some people take to get back from those injuries.
Yeah.
So Josh Morby maybe has a shot, and the fact he can play at fullback, the fact he is that type of winger the All Blacks don't really have a version of at the moment.
Yeah.
Then it's absolutely great. But I'm obviously missing one player here because he's a name who's probably been the top of the tongue of everyone in New Zealand rugby with the media and the fans is Whihi Fina. It's been a while.
There you go. You got it. You got it.
My deepest apologies. He had glimpses of it last year. He's only 22. He's been great at NPC. He was highly touted out of high school, and he has a year where he's
Where did he go high school?
In Auckland somewhere. I forgot where.
Was it Sacred?
I think he was a Sacred boy. Or grammar. I don't know. Hopefully, I haven't offended him twice there. But look, he has been smashing the try records all season. But he had agreed to join Newcastle last year, and that's been a very big thing. People are like, well, if he was staying, he would be an All Black. Like, can he still play for the All Blacks? Are they going to get rid of the rules? And reports are coming out, although no one's really explained why, is that the move has been blocked. I don't know if blocked is the right term.
Yeah.
Because I don't think New Zealand Rugby has any rights to just block a player moving overseas. No. The correct term is probably we've given him more money than what Newcastle were going to give him, or we've done something to allow it. Apparently, but I don't know.
Or has he blocked it?
Or he's possibly gone, actually, no, I know I could be at the World Cup next year with the All Blacks, which is a massive pull. And I know you messaged me when you were still in Europe, and I was telling you, like, there is still a chance he stays if, New Zealand buy him out of his contract. And you're like, as speaking as someone who had obviously just been to Europe for the first time, who went, he needs to go. It's a wonderful place. You'll learn so much. It's an experience.
I mean, I would have said that anyway.
Oh, you would have. It just came across very much. Yeah, this guy just went to Europe.
I thought it would.
I was like, come on, Dylan.
I thought it would.
But I get it.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm still not sure. He's been in great form. Do not get me wrong. Also, if you hear purring, I think you know what it is.
Yeah.
I know that, he's the form winger right now. He's been great on this Hurricanes team. Personally, for me, he's still not the number one starting 11 for the All Blacks for me.
Ooh,
it's still my guy.
That's a toughie. Do you not fit him in? Like, Caleb Clark is obviously someone who's kind of just established himself as you got to have him in the 15, the other wing. Who else is fighting for him on the right?
You could easily put him on the other wing. I have no problem with that at all.
I think you could have both him and Caleb. I think they can coexist.
Yeah. The only thing that Whihi doesn't have is the high ball.
Yeah, but
we do, and that's something. Let's be real, that we do really need.
Yeah,
so that's why I'd still have Caleb Clark as my number one. Let's call it winger in the country.
Yeah.
But if Whihi ends up playing the 14 on the other side, hey, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
It'll be interesting to see how he's used. But yeah, he'd be one of the players whose stocks has risen so high.
Yeah.
And before we just rant and ramble about one game, the other results quickly, the Reds in the season with a 45-24 win over the Drua, and you all laughed at me at the start of the season when I said that the Reds would be the best Australian team in the comp. And lo and behold, they have finished higher than every other Australian team. Yeah, but it's going to be
just ended.
But I was still right. There was a method to my madness still. I cannot believe that I was right. And the Reds have dealt with injuries all season.
True.
But they've even bled in a couple of youngsters. 18-year-old Trayvon Pritchard is a scary prospect. He's eligible for New Zealand, but he will be. Apparently so. But he will be a Wallaby.
Yes.
But he has been linked with the PNG Chiefs NRL team because everyone has been.
True.
So, and also his older brother is with the Brumbies. Forgot his first name. Caden Pritchard.
Caden, that's right.
Hey, I do know a thing or two about Australian rugby.
Come on.
But yeah, shout out to the Reds. The Drua probably wanted to end the season on the win. But if we look to a very heartwarming result in Canberra, Moana Pacifica, 21-19, get their second win of the season after winning the first game of the season and the last game of the season. Yeah. Beat the Brumbies. It's most likely their last game. This all developed when you were in Europe.
I did stay up with it though, and it is freaking sad.
It's quite sad. Unfortunately, like the money situation was always going to come around because Moana were not really attracting big crowds at all. They were often playing in places where you'd argue it wasn't the best use for them being there. And unfortunately, it wasn't because like they if there was like another stadium in South Auckland which could host maybe 10,000 people, that'd be perfect for Moana Pacifica.
Yeah, it would.
It would be absolutely perfect. Mount Smart, unfortunately, they left it very early. They just couldn't make it work. And now they wouldn't be able to make it work again because Auckland FC are the clear number 2 tenant to the Warriors now.
Yeah.
Can't really have that many teams. There were rumours the Blues were wanting to sniff around Mount Smart because they saw the success there and didn't know it's not actually to do with the stadium. Well, kind of is, but to do with everything else. But look, it's the money side of things, and it is going to make. But there is a chance.
It's a sucky part of professional sport, but it is what it is.
It is what it is, and unfortunately, I don't want to say like, oh, you guys shouldn't afford it. Would it work? Blah blah. There was a very good chance this could have worked long term, and this still could be working.
I think it should have worked long term, to be honest, but. Clearly, the money generation wasn't there.
It's very expensive to run a rugby team.
Very expensive.
And unfortunately, it's not really on anyone, but you bring in Adi Save as this massive signing, but unfortunately, he plays one season, that's all good, but he leaves. And I know it was for, probably for financial reasons and, to bag in Japan is to bag in Japan. I'm not going to hack on anyone for taking it, but it does, like, you could tell that I think the general audience, care factor about Moana went down a little bit when Adi left, naturally. And yes, he was going to come back next year, but obviously next year is probably not going to happen now.
No.
There's still a chance they get saved by another investor or the government props up some more money. We'll see
which I really hope. That would be awesome.
It would be good to see at least for next year. Because I think a lot of the players would be contracted to next year. I mean, I don't think anyone would be contracted past then.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice for the players to see out their contracts. But if Moana do go, it's going to be a massive, frenzy of where the players are going to go.
Yeah.
You'd expect a lot of them to go overseas. You expect a lot of them to stay here. The Adi Save question is, where the hell is he going to go?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, I think the media basically assumed that if he does stay in New Zealand, would be go to the Blues, which thank you, but he could easily just go back to Japan and they make a quirk in the eligibility rules that he's still eligible because he should be in New Zealand.
Or even crazier, he still goes back to the Canes.
That's something which doesn't need to happen. But hey, it's really sad to see what's happened with Moana. Clearly, the guys love the team. It's gone a bit under the radar, but like Israel Leota's been an excellent addition for them on the wing. He's been a great revolution player last year. You had the likes of KT and Tupou Tailoa and Miracle Whailangi, and the list goes on. And it's always going to be difficult when you create another team in any sport in a city where it was already a team, but there's no like geographical ties to it. Yes, there is the cultural ties to Samoa and Tonga and other Pacific communities, and that's spirited all across Auckland. Obviously, more concentrated in the south and the west than on the North Shore or in other places, but it's always very hard to draw those in, especially when you have the Warriors doing so well at Mount Smart, and the Blues will still have a lot of fans from those people from those nationalities as well because of the historicness of the Blues and Auckland rugby, and then obviously it's tough in a big city where it feels like the stadium situation isn't as good as it should be, although it's really fine, but people like to make a big song and dance about it. But look, it's really sad.
Let's just put it this way. It sucks.
I'd love to see them continue in some way. I always thought if New Zealand and Australia were to go their separate ways with Super Rugby and we had our own domestic competitions, it would be very hard for Moana to remain because it'd probably go back to something resembling NPC and, well, Moana Pacifica aren't a province, are they? They are... they're a different type of team.
Yeah, it would be different. It sucks. And that's what it is. It really does suck. Not only for the players, but I actually think for fans as well. Because let's be real, rugby around the world probably isn't the way it is without the contribution of the islands.
No, not at all. They've played a massive part. You know, there have been players of New Pacific Island descent who have probably played for almost every single tier 1 country except South Africa and Argentina.
Yeah,
you
pretty
know,
much.
the
And I'm sure that'll happen one day.
No, well, I don't know. The amount of Samoans and Tongans who have put on the black jersey or the green and gold,
and still do,
or even the white of England, the blue of France, the players who played for Scotland, for Ireland, for Wales, guys who've played for Japan. You know, they've done a lot.
Yeah,
there needs to be a way for a pro rugby team to be based in Samoa or Tonga. It's just unfortunately. There's a lot of politics. There is unfortunately a lot of corruption. Everyone knows about that.
Yeah.
And world rugby money can only do so much. New Zealand government money can only do so much.
Like it sucks. It really does suck. Like, but that's unfortunately the reality of what we love as professional sports sometimes. Like, you know, running a professional sports team is not like running a business.
No.
You're not going to make profit all the time. You're probably going to have to accept losing some money. But, you know, it sucks that they're not going to be able to carry on. But I'm very thankful I got a jersey in time.
Yeah.
I got my jersey in time.
I think I'd be more thankful if I got to see them in person multiple times, including the game against the Blues last year at Albany where they defeated the Blues.
Yeah. And even though our team lost, it was awesome.
It was a great experience and a great game. And I hope they are able to remain somehow. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens. If not, then a lot of those Moana boys will be at other Super Rugby teams, I'm sure, next year.
And if not overseas, I could see Patrick Pellegrini, for example, getting some major offers in France, especially.
I think he was in Italy before he came here, so it'd make a lot of sense for him to get a chance back in Europe. Or I could see them taking punts on, you know, guys like Miracle Wailangi.
Yeah, I could also see Ty Law as well. I think he'll definitely stay in New Zealand.
Yeah, I think it's just a shoo-in sign for the Highlanders.
Yeah,
he's already playing for Southland, which
would be awesome, by the way.
It just feels like the next logical step for him to go there.
Yeah, and then, man, I'm trying to think of some. I mean, it's awesome now. I mean, we'll talk about not awesome for our team, but it is awesome to see KT getting some minutes now for the Chiefs. So which we'll talk about. But yeah, those guys, I'm sure they'll find their way. Yeah. But it sucks that it won't be with Moana for at least for now. But
much
we never know.
Much love to Moana and the whānau there and the players and everything, the coaches, the staff. Yeah. Hope everything is resolved in some way that you guys, you know, are able to either move on or continue with what you're doing.
True that.
One thing who does need to move on, probably are Blues fans. 59-34 against the Chiefs at Waikato Stadium. Karantai Maifalo started the season off pretty quiet, didn't play as much, has been given far more opportunities, playing far better. Yep. Not eligible until later this year for the All Blacks. I don't know if he gets that kind of that fast track.
I think he needs more consistent game time before that. But
the thing is, with NPC, he might prove it and get an NPC call up essentially for the end of the year. It could happen.
You never know. Yeah, true.
I think he's definitely someone long term that the All Blacks will want to have in the system. He's a guy who should be good under the high ball considering his lank, and you know,
he is very good under the high ball anyway.
So,
considering his length.
Chiefs Blues, the Blues have had...
That's a good one.
This season for the Blues was always going to be like the one before a transitional phase, because next year will be a transitional phase. Yeah. May I remind you who was leaving the Blues this season? A shit ton of players. Dalton
Papali'i is leaving.
Hoskins Sotutu, AJ Lamb, and there's more than I'm forgetting. But
like we said before, that's professional sport, man.
It is. Those guys are all leaving. It does mean that, and the Blues have struggled with injuries this season a lot of the time. A lot of players missing out due to injury. But one thing which I think has been very promising is the elevation of all the loose forwards at the Blues.
Yes.
One area which seems to be that they're doing as good as they can are the younger loose forwards. Yeah. Anton Signer is getting All Black shouts for the first time in his career. Does he sneak in? We'll have to wait and see. Torian Barnes wasn't even in the first team squad at the beginning of the season. He's locked down long term. He is a 100% someone who's going to be competing for that 6 jersey going forward. Shea Clark and Malachi Rampling also getting solid minutes, impressing a lot of people. Impressed with Malachi Rampling. And then when you have Cam Christie coming back next year, it's far more options. I think the Blues, Hook is still a little bit of a struggle position, not one of Eklund or Slater or Mullen was able to really hold that jersey down and be consistent. But this game against the Chiefs saw the debut of a guy who was in the wider training squad, Eli and Duran, who was very good for the U20s last year, New Zealand U20s last year, propped it up from Canterbury, and everyone just said how good he was in the Super Rugby debut. So I think we might see a bit of a
He did
next
score
year.
on debut as well. So
Good on them. But the Blues and the Chiefs get the win. Their position on the table was already solid. The Blues did fall down to 4th. Look, the Blues started the season off well, had some injuries. I think for a season which has felt a bit shit, finishing 4th is great.
Yeah.
And I don't think we need to talk too much about it. But a lot of players, newer players, have kind of shown up for the Blues this season as well. Cody Vai as well.
Yes, true.
The other game was the Force and the Waratahs. The Force get the win, 31-25, to claim 7th over the Waratahs, who finished 8th. They're just 4 points off the Brumbies, the Force. They had a lot of players. Zach Lomax was a great signing for them from league. He'll probably be a Wallaby in this upcoming window. The final standings, the Hurricanes, unsurprisingly, number 1. The Chiefs are number 2. The Crusaders leapfrog the Blues to be 3rd. The Blues in 4th. The Reds in 5th. The Brumbies round out the top 6. And then you got the Force, the Tars, the Landers, the Drua, and Moana. Finals next week. Cairns versus Brumbies in Wellington on Friday. Crusaders versus Blues in Christchurch on Saturday afternoon. And the Chiefs Reds on Saturday at 7 p.m. And I believe the highest ranked loser still goes through to the semis.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the Canes are beating the Brumbies and the Chiefs are beating the Reds. So the Blues...
I'm about to say, we better not have just jinxed it.
The Blues losing to the Crusaders will... So basically, if the Blues lose to the Crusaders and Canes and the Chiefs win, they'll be playing the Chiefs in Hamilton in the semis. But if the Blues beat the Crusaders and the Canes and the Chiefs both win, then the Blues will actually get to go back to Hamilton and the Canes will have to host the Crusaders. Looking at other possibilities, if the Canes were to lose, right, and the Chiefs and the Crusaders were to win, then the Blues wouldn't make it, obviously, but the Brumbies would. But if the Canes were to lose and the Crusaders were to lose, for example, and the Chiefs were to lose, and the Blues were to win, I don't actually know how that works.
So you're saying if the lower seeds win...
Sorry. If the Canes, Crusaders, and Chiefs all lose, this is a genuine possibility. If they all lose, the Blues become the number 1 seed in the semi-finals.
That's mad.
Which is hilarious because the Blues are
so
4th.
that would also mean that we'd play the Canes.
Yeah, it would still mean we have to play the Canes, which is like kind of bullshit in a way. Like, all of us luck. Here's the Hurricanes. Yeah. It's like, I forgot his name.
I think Super Rugby might need to put some work into that system, but they're pretty much wrong with it.
You know that one guy who on TikTok does the videos where he's like, and he's like just basically glazing all the teams, like, great game, you need a mark. And he's like said like,
I've never seen that before.
No.
I see too much hate on the thing.
No, this guy, and he's like, I sent you a video the other day, and it's like called like 2014 Toulon. It's like, we've got
yes.
We've got a very important game in the top 14. Yes. Here's your wingers are like blah blah
Brian
blah.
Habana and
Drew
Mitchell.
Drew Mitchell. Your fullback is blah blah blah.
No, I know who
your
you're talking
fly
about.
half is Johnny Wilkinson. Your 12 is Mackie. That's how I feel about talking about those Hurricanes teams. Like, here's
and time will tell too, because a lot of them are young.
Yeah, here's a loose forward pack of Devin Flanders, Peter Lackey, Brad Shields, and Duplessis Kiddafi. It's and Brandon Yosse. It's a bit. Fucked.
Hey, but look, last year, let's be real. I mean, we ended up beating the Chiefs, So
hey, unfortunately, we're not playing the Chiefs.
No, unfortunately. Or fortunately, maybe after the game they just played against us with and they were definitely not strong.
Unless we beat the Crusaders, because as you guys know, the Chiefs, they're not great in the playoffs. They haven't been the last 5 years.
To be fair, neither of the Canes.
No.
So
maybe the Blues are hosting the final. Actually, maybe the Blues are going to host the Super Rugby final.
I think we might need to see how this plays.
There's a chance. There is a chance.
But look, I will say this about the Crusaders: we need to get down when you're back and they're actually playing there. So probably next year we need to get down to that new stadium.
On Christchurch,
Christchurch.
Absolutely.
I mean, they call it Te Kaha Stadium. It's one New Zealand stadium, but it's Te Kaha Stadium.
Te Kaha.
But we need to get down there because it looks pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie.
No, it looks great. It's a bit annoying,
Yeah, that's
like, yes, they've been waiting
we
for
do
a
have
stadium.
Eden Park, but,
I can't be mad at a city for finally getting a stadium after suffering 2 devastating earthquakes 15 years ago. But like, come on, bro. It's just a new stadium.
But let's be real here. Look,
It's great.
The Canes finished first. Give Wellington something, because the next thing we're going to talk about, if I was a Wellingtonian, I'd be pissed off.
Oh, and you're wearing the correct jersey for this.
I am.
The A-League.
It happened a couple of weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, history was made. One of the greatest moments in football history. One of the biggest stories. One of the most unbelievable tales. A team who didn't exist 2 years ago, trumping the odds. Had nothing to do with having an owner with a lot of cash and the ability to circumvent the salary cap in the first 2 years of being an expansion team and being in a bigger city, having better minds in the team. But the underdogs, they were Auckland, not the underdogs, Auckland FC A-League champions, ladies and gentlemen, finishing third. They did a Spurs and finished third in a 2-horse race in the regular season. But they were able to overcome a penalty shootout against Melbourne City at Mount Smart, which I watched in person. Penalty shootouts in real life, not fun to watch if you're not neutral. And then a 2-legged semi-final against Adelaide, 1-1 draw in Auckland, demolished them in Adelaide 3-0, and then hosted Sydney FC in the final after Newcastle were knocked out by Sydney in the semis.
That's crazy. That's pretty crazy.
And a pretty scrappy game, not a great game of football, to be honest. But Cam Howison, 60th minute, deflected off a defender. Didn't count as an own goal still. Legend of Auckland football now. And Auckland get the dub. Yeah, 2 seasons, a premiership, a championship, 19 years with the Wellington Phoenix, and your women's team made the final once a week before Auckland made their first final.
Yes.
Congratulations. But also, Auckland owns New Zealand football currently. Absolutely.
Yes, I mean, look, we took. I think we took advantage of the 2 to 3 years that we've got. I'm very glad.
Absolutely,
we have.
Who wouldn't be taking the advantage? That's
True,
what
I
you're
hope
supposed
so.
to do.
Yeah.
But it will be interesting next year. Supposedly, a lot of key players will have to depart. We'll see how they're replaced. Reports on Lockie Bayliss joining Auckland from Newcastle, but the likes of, I've heard, like Frustrade potentially leaving, which would be not good.
No.
But Hiroki Sakai is staying. De Vries is staying. We know that. So,
the fries.
So we just have to wait and see. But shout out to Auckland, and with the World Cup coming up, a lot of those guys getting into the World Cup team because of that. So
Jesse Randall's leaving as well. He's going to
Dundee United,
Scotland. There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, good job, Auckland, and it's now time for the longest postseason in the world because the season won't start until October.
Good point.
But one season which is still ongoing until October is the NRL, and the Warriors couldn't beat the Panthers last night, but it's fine. They lost by 2 points. They had 3 tries disallowed. The Panthers have been undeniably the best team in the NRL this season, a team where no one has really been able to come close to beating them, apart from the one time they did lose. And the Warriors were in this game the entire time.
They were, yes, but also at the same time.
I actually watched this game.
But yes, we were. And the Panthers are just those teams that come around once in a generation, and they've somehow been able to keep the talent together. And it's just an elite team. You have to say
both
that.
Teams
it's
missing
an elite team.
Both teams missing Origin players, except the Panthers did have Casey McLean because he only played about 15 minutes of Origin on Wednesday, which New South Wales won, by the way, because Kalen Ponga, can't tackle.
But no, and here's what I'm saying, right? Like, yes, it is very good for the Warriors to be within 2 points.
Yes.
But also at the same time, like you said, the Panthers were quite under strength.
But so were the Warriors.
True. Who do we not have?
No Capewell.
No Capewell,
Barnett.
who hasn't... Capewell hasn't been starting most of the year anyway. It's been Laban, hasn't it?
Capewell started playing a bit. There's a reason why he's in Origin.
No, that's a very good point.
No Capewell, no Barnett, no Roger.
Well, Roger's injured, but yes, he's out for the year, which sucks.
No Tanner Boyd.
True, very true. But this is
no
what I think.
Rocco Berry. No. No chance. No. missing players, and the Panthers were missing Cleary.
So they missed Cleary, Yeo,
Edwards.
To'o wasn't playing.
But they've still got very, very good players in there.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? The top two teams, and I'm glad I'm finally be able to say this as a Warriors fan, have actually built depth.
Yeah, the Warriors.
And I think we showed it.
The Warriors are definitely a top 2 team. They're the team who've come the closest to dealing the Panthers another loss. I feel like they're clearly in it. They're clearly the second best team in the comp.
Yeah.
But
that Panthers team is just different. Dude.
Casey McLean scares me because he's 6 years younger than me.
Crazy, eh?
He's 6 years younger than me, and it's just, especially how he was playing in Origin. He didn't put a foot wrong in his Origin debut at 19 years old, or 20 years old, I should say. He's a freak.
And just happens to play for the Panthers.
Not as freaky as I'm not. I can say this because I'm not doing it the same. Not as freaky as the NRL commentator last week who called a player mid-game. I kid you not, referred to a player as Chester the Molester.
No, we did.
On live television. I'm condoning this as bad. That's the only reason I'm saying it. I'm not saying this. A commentator said that. I'm not gonna repeat it. It's horrific.
That's a very.
I think it was from like a strip or something, or it was like a late tackle, and he just ripped it off the dome. I'm like, my guy. It is 2026.
Our Australians just built different.
I think they built a bit stupid at times.
That's a shocker. That's an absolute shocker.
It's horrific.
But yeah, no, the Panthers did get the win against the Warriors, which sucks. But also, I think there's heaps of positive signs there for the Warriors, especially for the future as well. I mean, we're looking at Tuopiki scored and played great.
Yeah, he's like 27, so yeah.
But you get my point.
Yeah.
Laban, awesome.
Yeah.
Halasima doing Halasima things. Who else played in that game? Tamaide Martin. I just say, is not playing too bad in that 7 role.
He's been playing very, very well. A lot of players have been playing very, very well.
Yeah. So
and shout out to good old Loffy, Khan Pereira. It's been excellent.
It's been awesome too. Yeah.
He only seems to score in doubles, which is crazy. So
true.
So big man AKP. He's been excellent for us.
He has been awesome.
But a wide look at the NRL. Sharks, Seagulls. Sharks get the win 28-22. Knights, Eels. Knights get the win 28-22. Is that right, or have you done a mistake?
Nope. I'm pretty sure that is right.
The Storm overcome the Roosters after a shocking start to the season, 18-4. The Broncos become the Broncos become the first team to lose to the Dragons since August of last year, 26-30.
What is going on there, bro?
I don't know, but it's kind of funny. The Raiders beat the Cowboys, 26-12. Good one for them.
First of all, what voice are you doing?
It's the Simon League voice with Simon.
Well, get this. Can we get the normal Simon voice back?
No.
Because what is going on with the Broncos, dude?
I think they've had injury issues. I think they've just been kind of found out a little bit. Players are not playing as well as they should be. I think they've missed Payne Haas for most of the season, which obviously is going to be.
That's huge.
And they're not going to have him next year because he's off to a team in the Rabbitohs who have been very good this season.
They have.
And had the bye this week. Table update. The Panthers are still first. The Warriors are only 4 points behind them. And the Roosters and Knights are 2 points behind the Warriors in 3rd and 4th. 5th to 10th. The Seagulls.
You're not even going to stay
the Rabbitohs. The Dolphins. The Sharks. The Cowboys. And the West Tigers. All on the same amount of points too, which is kind of crazy.
Is this all after the Brochester, mate? You're doing your league voice?
Like kind of.
Yeah,
kind of. And do not refer to him as the Brochester. That man is just Chester, okay? No bros here. But that's in terms of domestic sport. I think that's all we're gonna talk about.
Is that what you just called?
What? Sorry, domestic sports.
Yeah,
domestic sports.
After what you just said.
Oh well. That's not that bad.
That's how you know we haven't done enough of 2 months.
Moving on to international sports, because apparently I'm not also domestic on the podcast.
That's not true.
The NBA. Holy shit, man. The NBA.
Yeah, man.
New York. So I'm going to break the ice. I fly out to New York on Thursday, which is crazy timing because I will be entering New York, a city. And for the first time in 27 years, their basketball team is in the NBA Finals. And we're playing the same team they were playing the same 27 years
Yes.
ago in the New York Knicks. Not the New York
and the
Knicks.
San Antonio Spurs.
The San Antonio Spurs. The Knicks absolutely dominated the Cavs. A sweep at the highest degree. 4-0.
Yeah, man.
In the
Jalen
conference
Brunson.
Finals. Jalen Brunson, crazy.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson out of everyone. People knew how good he was.
Yep, the small guard that plays big, mate.
That's
He can ball, dude.
And the West gave us a 7-game classic. Another addition into the Wemby versus Chet Holmgren beef that is going to be
Beef.
Well, I
not
think
even.
it's turning into beef now because obviously it was a very one-sided rivalry. Funny fact, it was the only one-sided rivalry I can think of where the player who actually cares about the rivalry is the better player.
I mean, I wouldn't
Because
even
you
say,
think of- you
I
can
wouldn't
think of
even
all
say
the
Wemby cares about the rivalry. He cares about winning.
But I think he always seems personal against Chet because Chet beat him at the Under-19 World Cup all those years ago.
True.
The Thunder have been at the thing is the Spurs were 13. I forget the Spurs were 13th in the West last year, and now they're in the finals.
Yeah,
and
but
probably the favourites.
Yeah, but don't forget they are the favourites and
Yeah.
should be. But let's not forget, they're
They're young.
They are young, but I'm going to talk about just the Spurs in general. There are many organizations in sports that are awesome, in American sports that are awesome. My Golden State, you could argue, one of the best organizations at the moment.
In recent years, yeah.
In recent years. I mean, Lakers and Celtics have always been there. But honestly, man, I actually think the Spurs are the best organization in the entirety.
What do you
if
mean-
think about it, of American sports?
What do you mean?
At the moment.
the team from San Antonio has been one of the most consistent teams because market does
Exactly.
play a massive part in a team's success and attracting players. San Antonio,
I mean, they are in Texas.
it's like the 4th biggest city in Texas.
True.
You know?
Yeah.
And if you listen to Charles Barkley, there's no point going there if you want to talk to the single woman. I think that's a lie, Charles Barkley. I don't agree with that.
Well, that's not what he
No.
said.
And let's not expound on it because I don't want another Chester in the first episode since we've been back.
Yeah.
And the last episode, regardless, for a month.
Yeah, true.
But look, yes, San Antonio, and shout out to Molly Morrison, put out a video where she was like, "Oh, here's all the things that have happened that are younger than the last time the Knicks made the finals.
Yeah.
So, things that didn't exist," and she just hit us with the Spurs starting 5.
Yeah,
Were
pretty
all
much.
not born when the Knicks
Yeah.
last made the final. So that is going to be, I think, the Spurs have Wemby, who's just a freak, never in a good way. And then there's these young guards of Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle, like just around them is a bit crazy. And the supporting cast and the Knicks have the Jalen Brunson story. They've got Kat, who's faced so much adversity in the last 5 to 6 years, and all the other supporting players, Josh Hart and whatnot. It's going to be a great series. It will start next week. I will be in New York for Game 3. I told my mate who I'm going to New York with, we'll get tickets easy. Cheapest tickets are 6,000 New Zealand dollars.
It's bad.
So we'll be watching.
But that's how popular it is.
Well, I know. It's just how expensive American sports can be.
Yeah, very.
But yeah, who you got? I would love to just say the Knicks because it would just end a lot of suffering for the wider NBA fan culture. But the Spurs winning it starts the Wemby. You won't say Wemby dynasty, but it starts Wemby. It could start a dynasty with Wemby. It could start an era of Wemby.
Yeah.
Kind of shuts up a lot of people that he was going to get found out in the NBA, that he was too much of a unicorn to become an actual decent player. But
I mean, I mean, look, I've got a repeat of 99. I've got the Spurs winning it. I don't know how many games the Spurs won it in. I think it was 5.
I think this will go close. I think the Knicks.
I think if the Spurs win, I actually said to a friend at the gym today. I've got the Spurs in 6.
I think the Knicks win every game they play in New York, so I'm going to say Spurs in 7.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But if the
look,
Knicks win one of those games in San Antonio, then I think it tilts it in their favour.
Yeah, I mean, but that's how finals work. But even before...
I like how I've also just said I think the Knicks are winning every game in New York.
Yeah, and you said the Spurs in 7.
Spurs in 7, which means that I still think the Spurs are going to win every game in San Antonio. But I meant because of the Knicks in Madison Square Garden and the crazy people in New York.
Yeah, but even before the finals, man, let's be real here.
Yeah.
Barring injuries or barring anything massive happening, I think you're going to see the Spurs and Thunder in the Western Conference Finals for a long time to come.
I think it's kind of just like one of those inevitable things,
Yeah.
you know, where it's like, this is going to be happening constantly.
Yeah, long time, and you honestly, you could have a thing in American sports, at least. I know they'd compare it to Alabama and Clemson in the 2010s, where you kind of flip flop between, where you have Spurs 1 year, Thunder 1 year, Spurs 1 year, Thunder. I could easily see that happening. And honestly, even though everybody I will never understand. I say I'll never understand. I do, but I know everybody hates to hate on them. Respect to the Thunder, man.
Yeah, and they built a team.
You know, they built a great team there, and that's not going to stop. I don't think Chet's going to shoot 2 shots and score 4 points in the game 7 again.
No.
You know, and look, whether you like it or not, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has played the exact same way he's played since he got into the league. Yeah. He's just gotten better at it, and especially if you're a Kiwi, if you really want to hate on the way he plays, I'm gonna hate making this comparison, but I'm gonna make it anyway. If we go to rugby, one of our, if not the greatest rugby players we've ever made was known and happily accepted bending rules. And that is Richie McCaw.
Yeah.
So you know, if I didn't even see this amount of hate for James Harden back in the days. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but I guess people hate a winner, you know.
Yeah. They do. People like to hate. People like to hate winners if they're not likable winners. But
yeah, he's an elite player. The Thunder are an elite team. I think we'll see them back there.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be 10 years of Thunder Spurs in the Western Conference Finals.
Yep, I could easily see that.
And let us quickly tap on to European football. Congratulations to all the European football winners, leagues, and continental competitions. Arsenal break their Premier League hoodoo, 22 years, and they've won the Premier League. Congratulations.
They've finally done it.
And in more important news, whole city of Premier League. What a time to be alive.
Mate.
Having been told, think we're going to play Southampton in the playoff final, we may get kicked out because of spying, and we have to play Middlesbrough on 3 days' notice, and they still win it. Thank you, Ollie McBurney. Hull in the Premier League is going to be amazing. It's going to be hilarious. Can't wait for it.
They will. Let's be real though. If they're going to stay up, I think they're going to have to do quite a bit this.
We're going to have to do a madness. Unfortunately, your boys, Leicester City, down in League One. I think you guys will go straight back up, in my opinion.
I mean, I hope so, but we're going to have to make a lot of sales. Otherwise, we're going to go in debt very quickly.
Unfortunately, but on to European competitions. Congratulations to Crystal Palace for winning the Conference League, and Aston Villa for winning the Europa League. Champions League final was yesterday morning. PSG going for a double against Arsenal. And what happened?
More hate watching again from a lot of people.
Arsenal have lost the Champions League final. PSG went on penalties. Gabriel missed essentially the key penalty for them.
Yeah.
It is a back-to-back Champions Leagues for PSG. It must suck to be Kylian Mbappe. You leave PSG and they win back-to-back trebles straight away.
Yeah,
and you go to Real Madrid and kind of make Real Madrid a worse place to be, or partially worse place to be.
Yeah.
But we're going to stick with football, and the reason why we're doing this is that on Thursday, or a day of the week, it's Thursday, I am off to the United States for the first time in my life, plus Canada.
Have you ever been to the US before?
No, I have not.
I thought you had. My bad. I thought you had.
Going mostly to cheer on the All Whites at the World Cup. Going to be seeing them in LA against Iran, and we'll be going to the second game in Vancouver to see them play Belgium.
Yep.
And even something else in the middle, going to a couple of baseball games as well, kind of doing as much as we can. So we're obviously going to do a full-on 2026 FIFA World Cup predictions, plus a kind of a roundup, I'm trying to think of a better word, a preview of this World Cup.
Yes, a preview.
I will be. If I don't make any content there, I think Dylan will have me shot, considering he made content for this podcast just by going to no sporting events. So you
wouldn't know I did it.
No, exactly.
I'm joking.
So let's preview every group.
So I reckon how we're going to do this is we're going to go through each group.
Yep.
You say the top 3 and then say if the third place gets through.
Right, but we'll also talk about the teams in general as well.
Yeah, true. You'll know a hell of a lot more about the teams than I do.
Yeah. The 2026 FIFA World Cup is being held in the United States and also in Canada and Mexico. So 3 host teams, and the first host group is Group A, with Mexico joined by South Africa, South Korea, and Czechia / the Czech Republic. Yeah. Now,
this is a fairly open group. Can I just say?
Apart from one team in particular.
Yes.
South Africa their fans have already kind of resigned themselves to the fact that they're not doing anything at this World Cup.
You never know, though.
You do never know. Just like in 2010, the opening game of this tournament will be Mexico versus South Africa. Mexico have, a couple of dudes. Their main prospect is, I think he's only 16 or 17, Gilberto Mora, who's at Tijuana. He's a very talented player. They have other players who right now I am completely blanking on. But I think compared to South Korea and compared to Czechia, they will have the home advantage. They will have, I think, a slightly stronger team on paper. I see them topping the group with a win and a draw. I think I might see them draw against Czechia, and I have Czechia edging out second here against South Korea. South Korea always seem to shoot themselves in the foot in terms of player selections and the manager and how they play. Jin Min Song is not the player he was, but he's still a valid player. I think Czechia get a narrow win over South Korea, or at least they draw against them and they get wins elsewhere or better results elsewhere. And I think South Korea finished third, and I have South Korea, if I can actually work this out, it's the top 8 advance. I do have them going through as a third place team.
So with my group A, you know what? So like I said, I actually think it's a fairly open group. I have South Korea first.
Wow.
I think that's because it's such an open group, you never know what's going to happen.
All right.
So I have South Korea first. And in a very close second and third battle, I have Mexico edging out second. So that means I've got Czechia, or the Czech Republic, whatever you want to call it, in third, and I have them going through as one of those top 8.
Makes sense.
3 of those top 8 third place teams.
Yep.
I think that's going to be quite a close group. That's outside of South Africa, who may pull it off. Who knows? I think it's very close.
In Group B, we have another host team in Canada. We have current Asian Cup champions Qatar. We have Switzerland, and one of the wild card qualifiers, the team who barely to get here, Bosnia and Herzegovina. Canada's team is probably as good as you'd think it would be. Alfonso Davies is named, but he won't be eligible for the first game due to injury, reportedly. Switzerland have Granit Xhaka. They have a whole bunch of other players. Bosnia and Herzegovina, it's the same team which qualified. A great team to kind of get behind because they beat Italy. A likable team from my perspective. But what I've got is, again, this is also maybe not as open as Group A. Qatar, one of the easiest teams to predict to not get a single win at this tournament. I've got Switzerland topping this group with 3 wins.
Yep.
I've got both Bosnia and Canada with a win, a draw, and a loss each.
Yep.
But they've got the same goal difference here. But I've got Bosnia edged over Canada.
Okay.
Canada do make it as a third place team.
Okay. So I have got, like you, Switzerland finishing first, but I've got Canada edging second over Bosnia and Herzegovina. And like you, I have got the third place team going into the top 8, which for me is Bosnia and Herzegovina.
I think Canada could easily surprise, but I think Switzerland are a bit of an underdog team. They might do a lot better than a lot of people expect. So I think
Switzerland's also got quality players, like you were saying. I think underrated quality players.
They seem to be at every international tournament, so
they
have experience. We move to Group C, who don't have any of the host teams, but they have 5-time champions Brazil. They have the last World Cup surprise, 4th place team Morocco, first-time qualifiers in almost 30 years Scotland, and first-time qualifiers since the 70s Haiti. Haiti, one of those teams you can easily predict at the bottom of their group.
Yep.
Scotland, they've just lost Billy Gilmore out to injury because of a challenge from a player from Curacao in a friendly. So he's been replaced by the son of Darren Fletcher.
Wow, the son of Darren Fletcher.
19-year-old. I think it's he's got 2 sons, 2 twins. Forgot one plays for Scotland, one plays for England. It's quite funny.
Wow.
But Morocco obviously have a lot of the same players in the last World Cup. A couple of guys missing out. And then Brazil, but they're not the same Brazil. They're not as star-studded as they used to be. They're not as Brazilian as they used to. Well, they're still Brazilian.
But I get your point.
Neymar's been named despite the fact he's been very injured. Vinicius has been all over the place. Rodrigo is injured. They haven't named João Pedro. They're still relying on very old players in defense like Danilo and Alexandro. And they have the midfield, a lot of people complain was a little bit thin. but I still think they top this group. I think they top it. I've got a top that they're winning all 3 games, and I've got Morocco edging out Scotland for second, although I wouldn't be surprised if Scotland edge Morocco and Haiti at the bottom. Scotland do make the round of 32.
All right. So, guess what?
You're going for an upset.
I'm not good. Well, I actually personally don't think it's an upset because, like you said, I don't think Brazil is the team that they used to be.
No.
And I think there's a lot of stuff going on there.
Yeah.
So I've got Morocco topping the group.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
So I've got Morocco topping the group. I've got Brazil second, and I've got Scotland third, with Scotland making the top 8 of the third place teams.
Nice. And Group D is probably the most open group in the entire tournament.
Yes.
It's the US's group, and they have got Turkey, Australia, and Paraguay. The US, the team on paper, it doesn't strike me as that scary, although there are some good players. They did beat Senegal in a friendly today, and Senegal are pretty good, but warm-up games don't mean anything. My hot take, it's not really a hot take because a lot of people are saying this. This US group, the US team, I think, bold prediction is that they are getting grouped in the home World Cup. The US are finishing bottom of their group.
Wow.
And on top will be Turkey, who somehow won't screw up an international tournament. I've got Australia edging Paraguay in second. And
Okay.
Paraguay in third. Paraguay will make the third place team. Specifically, I've got the US drawing with Paraguay in the opening game, then drawing with Australia, and then losing to Turkey while Australia gets a win over Paraguay.
Okay.
And Turkey losing to Paraguay as well.
So
A lot of confusion.
I have not got the US getting grouped.
No.
But I have not got them winning the group either.
No.
I've actually got Turkey or Turkey A getting grouped.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Turkey groups.
I've got
that's
Turkey
fair.
grouped.
I think
To me, I hate putting it this way, but like that, they have quality players. Don't get me wrong.
the Gula and Kenan Yildiz, you know.
But I see them a little bit as perennial chokers.
They are. That's why I've said, you know,
And that's
maybe
why,
this is not
and
the
that's
time.
why I think they get grouped. I hate doing it, but I've got Australia topping the group
I'd love
because
to put
I think
Australia
I
on
think
top,
this
but,
is the most open group.
and Australia have finally, I guess you'd say, convinced Christian Volpato to switch to them.
They have.
So he's been
That makes
in
it
Italy
look even better for me.
for about 5 years.
He's playing for my boy Sassuolo, man.
Yes, but he went to Italy pretty young, played for the youth teams, denied Australia call-ups, but they've lost Riley Magritta injury ahead of his tournament, so he kind of jumped in the queue and,
Fair
look at him.
enough.
He's going to be a Socceroo.
Yeah. And then I've got Paraguay coming third, and I've got them making the top 8 of the
So the
third
USA
place
is
teams.
second.
The USA is second.
Okay.
Yes.
Group E is this is a group. It's a good group.
This is a group.
It's a good
yeah,
group.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
undermining it here. Germany, Cote d'Ivoire, Ecuador, and Curacao. I've got Germany winning this group with 2 wins and a draw. And I've got an upset. I've got Cote d'Ivoire shocking Ecuador's defense with a cheap 1-0 win to claim second. And I've got Ecuador finishing in third. They'll get a win over Curacao and that draw against Ecuador. Not Ecuador, against Cote d'Ivoire or Ivory Coast. No, I've got them winning, drawing, and losing, and I have got them being the best third place team, actually, because I've got them beating Curacao 4-0.
Well, you know what's funny? We'll see what happens with my group. So Germany tops this. If
Yep.
Germany doesn't top this, I think it's not a very good start.
No.
I have also got Cote d'Ivoire, the Ivory Coast, finishing second. I've got Ecuador third, but I've got Ecuador missing out on
That's
the top
big.
8.
'Cause
And I think that's
Ecuador-
big there.
Ecuador have a very good defense.
Yes.
Very good defense.
Yes.
But the attack is not the same, and
Yes.
I think that's what possibly lets them down.
Yeah, I just now there maybe because I made some more unrealistic predictions on my own.
Hey, I've got a few too, bro. Don't worry.
But yeah, if Germany doesn't top this group, I think that's a big failure on their part. But I have always loved the Ivory Coast teams.
Yeah.
Since the Yaya Toures,
My favourite-
and the Didier Drogba.
One of my favourite World Cup moments is of an Ivorian player in Emmanuel Aboué when they played North Korea in 2010. He walked up to a huddle of North Korean players and a coach while I was speaking in Korean, and he goes up and he nods like he understands what they're saying. It's one of my favourite clips ever.
I've got to go and find that now. I've never seen
It's
that
a great clip.
But yeah, I guess it's a little bit of an upset that Ecuador's not going to make it, but I don't have them making it.
No. But Group F, You have the Netherlands, Japan, Tunisia, and the team who snuck in despite finishing bottom of their qualifying group, Sweden.
Underratedly competitive group, in my opinion.
It can be, but I think the Netherlands are winning all 3 games here. Japan are going to beat Sweden, and Sweden are going to finish 3rd, and they are going to scrape into the round of 32.
So, like you, I've got exactly the same thing. Netherlands, Japan, Sweden in that order, and I've got Sweden making the 3rd place. But you could see Sweden beat Japan.
You could. Japan are missing a couple of key players due to injury, Matoma and Minamino, and Sweden could upset, but I think it's
Yeah, I still think Japan is finishing 2nd there, but you never know what could happen. But moving on to the most important group to us,
Group G.
Group G.
So I'm actually going to run through my results
Okay, go
before telling you my group.
Oh no.
So I've got Belgium defeating Egypt 2-0.
Yes.
And then in Los Angeles, in the 85th minute, I have Chris Wood scoring the only goal of the game to give New Zealand a 1-0 win.
Over
Iran.
Iran, okay.
Then in the next game, I see us drawing with Egypt.
Yep.
We get a fluke goal some point in the game.
Yep.
Belgium defeat Iran 3-1. Then we lose to Belgium 3-1 because we're not beating Belgium. But then Egypt and Iran draw 1-1, meaning Belgium topped the group on 9 points. New Zealand finished 2nd with a win, a draw, and a loss. Egypt finished 3rd with 2 draws and a loss, and Iran with a draw and a loss finished bottom, meaning that Egypt finished 3rd but do not qualify for the round of 32. The first team on my list who's finished 3rd who hasn't gone through yet.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, look, I'd love for that to work out for us. If we come 2nd in our group, that would be awesome.
Let it all work
and you
out.
never know, it could happen. That is a competitive group. But I've got Belgium 1st, and I do have Egypt 2nd.
Fair.
I have us 3rd, but I have us making the top 8 of the 3rd places. Just. So I have got that there. But if New Zealand, to be fair, and I've said this to you in private, and I'll say it on here, if New Zealand somehow make it out of the group, I think that's automatically a World Cup win for us.
It is.
It's already a World Cup win that Tim Payne's got 3 million followers all of a sudden.
Shout out to Tim Payne. We haven't talked about this. 4,000 followers to 3 million in about 3 days because an Argentine football content creator wanted to make the most unknown player of the tournament the face of the tournament. And he's only gone and done that with Tim Payne.
There you go.
He's got more followers than the All Blacks now. So shout out to Tim.
Shout out to Timmy Payne.
Payne.
Who would ever have thought on his journey of football
I know.
he'd get to this point.
And it's great because New Zealand are playing games in the wider in Florida where a lot of Argentinians live. So they're thinking those friendly games, those warm-up games in New Zealand, they're going to be packed.
And to be fair, I think Tim Payne's probably our starting right back a lot of the time anyway.
Yeah,
so
it's between him and Callan Elliott.
Yeah, exactly. If we really think about it. So.
We will see.
Yeah.
A fairly easy group to predict. Next is Group H. Spain, Uruguay, Cape Verde, and Saudi Arabia. Spain are topping this group, in my opinion. Uruguay is second. Cape Verde get a win over Saudi Arabia because they're not very good at all. And Saudi Arabia finish bottom.
I have got that as well. Spain, Uruguay going through. Cape Verde third. I'd love to see them especially for their little country in the top 8 but of the 3rd place, but I don't have them.
Sorry, I also have them not making the top 8 because they have, in my books, a minus 10 goal difference because they lose 7-0 and 5-1 to Spain and Uruguay.
Jeez.
Which is
fair enough.
unfortunately a bit fair. Group I is a very intriguing group because
It is.
France are joined by Senegal, Norway, and Iraq. I have France winning every game in this group, but the games against Norway, the game against Norway will be a tight one because of Erling Haaland. Norway, in my opinion, will pip Senegal because of Erling Haaland and all the other players on the team. It's not just Erling Haaland. Senegal, for me, will finish 3rd, and Iraq will be 4th. Senegal will be the last team to scrape into the top 8. They'll be the 8th. They'll be the 8th team in the top 8, scraping through.
So I've still got one more team after this to make the top 8. But like you, I've got France first, and I've got Norway pipping Senegal for second. But I've got Senegal also making the the top 8 of the 3rd place teams.
Group J, Argentina, Austria, Algeria, and Jordan.
Yes, sir.
I have got Argentina winning this group 3-0. They will have a tight game against Austria, but I have Austria finishing 2nd. And one of my shocks is I think Jordan get a shock win over Algeria and finish 3rd.
Wow.
but they don't make the top 8.
So I have got, I've got the, what do they call it? Alliteration. So I've got Argentina first, Austria second, and Algeria third. AAA.
Triple A.
Triple A. And I've got Algeria third, but not making
making
the top, the what's it called? The top 8 of the third place teams.
Yes. Group K.
Yes.
Portugal, Colombia, the DR Congo, Dr. Congo.
Dr. Congo, baby.
And Uzbekistan. I'd love to see Uzbekistan get some results here, but I've got them losing all 3 games.
Yep.
I have Portugal and Colombia drawing,
Mm-hmm.
but I have Portugal having a slightly better goal difference and topping the group over Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got the DR Congo getting a shock win, not a shock win, but a pipping win over Uzbekistan, 1-0. But I've also got them getting close to both Colombia and Portugal, so they make the top 8.
I have not got Dr. Congo making the top 8, but I do have them in third, Colombia second, and Portugal first. But can I just say, I think it's awesome that the DR Congo, Dr. Congo, made the fan that just stands up the entire time.
Yeah.
I don't know, I forgot what his name is, what they call him, but I'm glad they put him on staff. So that,
he's on staff.
so that he
Good.
can go. So
Good.
yeah, I love that, but I don't have them making the top 8.
That is a shame. And the final group, Group L, England, Croatia, Panama, and Ghana. I have
Yep.
England winning all 3 games, but then Croatia. I have Croatia finishing second, and I have Ghana beating Panama to finish third, but being the first team not making the top 8.
So I have got the exact same. I've got England first, Croatia second. I've got Ghana third. But shout out to my guy Abdul Fatawu. I've got Ghana making the
He's going to make
top 8.
He's going to make a
third place
great
groups.
signing for Hull City, Abdul Fatawu.
No, I'm sure he will. But we'll move on to our rounds of 32, which they have now.
I'll go over mine.
Yeah.
For starters, I have Bosnia defeating the Czech Republic. Bit of an upset, kind of. I
Okay.
have Germany beating Paraguay. I have the Netherlands edging Morocco. I have Brazil just getting past Japan. I have France beating Sweden. I have Norway beating the Ivory Coast. I have Mexico beating Scotland. England beating Dr. Congo. Canada slightly upsetting Turkey. Belgium beating the South Koreans. Colombia beating Croatia. Spain beating Austria. Switzerland beating Ecuador. Argentina beating Uruguay, Portugal beating Senegal, and that sets up an Australia-New Zealand round of 32 game.
That's why you had a second.
And after all the times they bet us in the soccer ashes and rubbed it in our face, they're not going to win the one that counts. New Zealand beat Australia to qualify for the round of 16.
Good on. So I've got Germany making it against Paraguay. I've got France making it against Sweden. I have got, let me just go down to, I've got Canada beating Mexico.
Whoa.
And even more of an upset, I have actually got Brazil beating the Netherlands.
I wouldn't say that's an upset.
Well, it kind of is, because like I said before, Brazil aren't the same team, but
the
I feel like
Netherlands
they
are-
find something.
The
there.
Netherlands,
Very true. I've got Colombia beating Croatia, because, Luka Modric's not there.
he is.
Oh, he is there?
He's 40, but he's there.
Yeah, well, I've still got Colombia beating Croatia. I have got Spain beating Austria. I have unfortunately got Australia beating Bosnia and Herzegovina.
That's fine.
I have got, I've just got to look back here. I have got, Yes, I do. I have Belgium beating Czechia. I have Morocco beating Japan, which I think will be really close. I have got Mr. Erling Haaland beating the Ivory Coast, or Norway beating the Ivory Coast. I have got South Korea beating Scotland.
Wow, okay.
I do think that happens. I've got England beating Senegal. I have got Argentina beating their border rivals Uruguay, even though I'd love to see Uruguay win that. I have got the US beating Egypt.
Yeah.
I gave them a little bit of luck there.
Yeah, a little bit of luck.
And in the biggest upset, I have got us beating Switzerland.
Wow. Wow. I don't think that happened.
No, neither do I, but I put it there because I can. And then I've got Portugal beating Ghana, and on to the round 16 we go.
Yeah, round of 16, I've got Germany beating Paraguay and France beating Sweden. I have Bosnia and Herzegovina. I've already said these results. Round of 16, I have Germany losing to France. I have Bosnia and Herzegovina upsetting the Netherlands.
Wow. Okay.
I have Spain defeating Colombia.
Yep.
And Belgium defeating Canada.
Okay. Yes.
I then have Brazil defeating Norway.
Yep.
England defeating Mexico. Argentina do get the better of New Zealand.
Unfortunately.
And Portugal beat Switzerland. That's my round of 16.
And then in my round of 16, I've got Germany versus France. That'll be a classic round of 16 match, I reckon. But France win it. I have got Brazil beating Canada. I have got Spain beating Colombia. I have got Belgium beating Australia. I have got Morocco beating Norway. I really wanted to make South Korea beat England, but I don't think that happens. So I've got England beating South Korea. I've got Argentina beating the US, and even more, I wanted New Zealand to beat Portugal, but it's not happening. Nah. So I've got
as much as I'd love it to happen.
Yeah. So I've got Portugal beating us.
Cool. And the quarterfinals, where it gets predictable, because every time I've done this in the past couple of weeks, I've ended up with the same semi-finalists. France defeat Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Yep.
Spain defeat Belgium.
Yep.
England beat Brazil. And Argentina beat Portugal.
And I've pretty much got the same semi-finalists as you, I'm pretty sure. France beat Brazil, or Brazil. Spain beat Belgium. I really wanted to say Morocco's going to beat England, but I don't think it's going to be like the Euros in 2016 when Iceland beat England. I've got England beating Morocco, though Morocco's much better than Iceland. And I've got Argentina beating Portugal in the... it will be a technically Messi-Ronaldo derby.
Well, it is a Messi-Ronaldo derby, not even technically.
Exactly. So I can't believe they're still there, which is awesome. So
it's crazy.
Yeah, but I've got Argentina beating Portugal, which means I think we have the same semi-finals.
Yeah, I've got France versus Spain, and England versus Argentina.
Yes.
So this is a tough one.
Really tough.
I'm now leaning to France beating Spain.
Okay.
And England versus Argentina, I think England are going to spoil the party for everyone. Messi's not going to go back to back as much as I would like that to happen. And England are going to make the final for the first time since 1966.
Exactly. And like you, I had quite the dilemma. And I think this will go to penalties between France and Spain. But unlike you, I have Spain.
Wow.
Beating France.
How dare you? No.
I just think Spain has been in better form as an international
they're
team
a
as
scary
well.
team, but I think something in Mbappe is going to unlock.
Also, that France team's quality. Do not get it sick and twisted.
It's scary.
And I've got Spain beating France. And like you, I do, even though I hate it because all you're going to hear is England fans. And I can handle Cowboys fans at times, Dallas Cowboys fans. I can handle Arsenal fans at times. But when it comes to England Three Lions fans, ooh, that's a different story. But I do have them going through to the final. So my final
on the shirt.
So, yeah, exactly.
Just remain still gleaming. 30 years of hurt.
Yeah, I'm just sick of saying football's coming home. It hasn't been home since '66, man.
No,
you stupid. But no, I actually think the storylines just in general of your final, France versus England, is better than Spain versus England.
Well, Spain England is the rematch of the Euros, so there is some hostility there.
But I've got Spain versus England.
Yeah,
as my final, and you've got France versus England.
My third place game, I have Messi getting one final job done in international football, beating Spain. I think it's just Spain are going to be a bit devastated, not making the final, and Messi will take advantage. What's your third place? My third place
is France versus Argentina, and I have France taking out Argentina. I just think France will have too much quality, to not lose. So. This time. So
my final, France versus England.
Old rivals.
I have
thousands of years. Now it's on the football field.
France won.
Thank you.
Yeah. Battle of two evils here, but France won.
And for my final, I've got Spain versus England, which I would love to be like whoever wins this game gets to control Gibraltar.
Hey, we're getting political here.
No, I just think that would be funny. But Spain versus England, and does it come home? Nah, I've got Spain.
The custody of Benidorm match. Have you got Spain winning?
I've got Spain winning the FIFA World Cup.
It's one of those two. It's
Yeah.
one of those two, in my opinion. It's France or Spain. Golden Boot predictions. I think Harry Kane is going to be the top goal scorer of this tournament.
I think it's going to be Erling Haaland.
Oh.
If we're going to, I didn't even think about that. If we're throwing run out there, I think it's going to be Erling Haaland.
Yeah, and so obviously in terms of mine, I think the biggest surprise is going to be Bosnia and Herzegovina making the quarterfinals,
Yes.
and the biggest shock is probably the US finishing bottom of their group.
Yep, I think, and probably in terms of mine, at least my biggest upset is most definitely us beating Switzerland.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Which would be awesome.
That'd be great. But on that bombshell, so you've got us for a week, and then I'm off for a month.
Pretty
so
much.
I will not be back until July. Do we go back to regular viewing on the 6th of July? We'll wait and see on the day.
I think you'll be a little bit too haggard from the.
I'll be fine.
America. I'm not sure about Canada. I've never been to Canada.
Well, I'm coming back from the United States.
Yeah, so
From the West Coast, though.
So this, see the difference for when I went, because we went to LA.
Yeah.
The timing difference isn't as bad as you think it would be.
No.
I actually was fine with it. It's actually once we got to Edinburgh that the
it'd
jet
be a
lag
bit-
really
It'd
hit
be
me.
a bit fucky, but
But yeah,
I will be supporting New Zealand. I should be uploading on the TikTok and the Instagram, so you will get to hear from me. I will be uploading on my private Instagram. The link is in the Instagram bio of CouchSide as well,
Yeah.
in case I forget to actually post on
I'll be
CouchSide.
posting some stuff on CouchSide as well. Might post some stuff as well as my own one, which, like him, is also in the link of the bio of the TikTok as well.
Of course.
But to end it, just like we were saying, CouchSide.network is the TikTok and Instagram. Go and follow us.
Do your thing.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, hit a subscribe, man. A like, subscribe, comment.
Like, subscribe,
Who do you
comment,
think-
share, favorite, retweet,
Mate.
5-star. You can't do that anymore.
No, that's true. But who do you think's going to win the World Cup? Would love to hear it.
Yeah, tell us.
Do you think it's going to be France? I think it's going to be Spain.
Tell us
but
who thinks gonna be-
But secretly, we want it to be New Zealand.
Yeah. Of
but
course
that
we do.
Probably won't happen.
Patriotic, you know.
But man, it's great to be back for the week. And I hope you have a great time away,
Thanks,
man. It's
bro.
going to be awesome.
I hope you have a wonderful time looking after this house for me.
Yeah. Oh man, don't worry. The cat will be back.
Oh, the cat will be back. The cat
come back, which you now claim as yours.
Oh yeah.
After 2 months.
Yeah. Sorry, Gab.
Oh man, she's hearing this right now. Anyway,
No, she'll be like, no.
but man, have whatever you're doing, have a great time doing it.
I will.
Go and and if you're watching this as well, go and watch the World Cup, man. Go and watch the
Go
FIFA
watch the World
World Cup.
Cup.
Yeah. Okay, KSI. Oh
What do
man,
you
that's a
mean?
whole nother thing. Actually, that's got nothing to do with podcast.
Yeah,
but, hey, anyway, we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, let's get out of here, man. I'm Dylan. That's
I'm Simon.
This is the CouchSide Network, and as we usually say, because we didn't forget after 2 months, or at
No,
least I didn't.
Could never forget.
Let's hit them with it, man. CouchSide out.
CouchSide out for a month again.